Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds, halfway point of the week. Did you watch the All-Star game last night?
A little bit of it, yeah.
What'd you think?
Well, there really wasn't much to it after the first inning. Philadelphia's Christopher Sanchez, who at one time this year was flirting with a Major League Baseball record 50 2/3 scoreless innings. Well, he has faltered here in the last couple of outings, and it did falter in the first inning last night. Gave up a couple of walks and then a couple of hits, and that really came back to haunt the National League. The American League All-Star scored 3 runs in the first inning, 2 of them on a base hit by Cody Bellinger, who was named as the All-Star Most Valuable Player. I disagree with that, but that's beside the point. And then rode a home run later on in the ball game and won the game 4-0. National League only got 3 hits in this game, struck out 15 times. It was all the American League pitchers. And the American League had their chances as well to add on to it, but it really was kind of a ho-hum game in many respects here. Jordan Walker, the home run hitting champion from the night before, did get up in the 9th inning and did strike out. He was one of the 15 strikeouts. But it just really didn't have a whole lot of pizzazz to it, if you understand what I mean. And it was a 4-0 game. That's baseball. That's the way it works. But it was all American League, and they've won 11 of the last 13 games, the American League All-Stars. That says something. I mentioned the fact that Cody Bellinger was the MVP in this game, and that's interesting because he had the 2-run single in the first inning, the Yankees kid. But I think it should have gone to Dylan Cease. He was the starting pitcher, Toronto Blue Jays guy. He'd been around for a number of years in the National League with the San Diego Padres and with the Chicago White Sox for a while. But Cease struck out the side in the first inning, and that kind of set the stage for what happened in the rest of the game. So it's not how they chose it. They went with the offense, and Bellinger gets the MVP. But the American League gets the win 4-0.
And that's all that matters, my man. It sounds like it was a good time, and I'm glad they didn't put it on a streaming service, so I had to calm you down this morning off of screaming at somebody. Yes. I know I would have. So now that that's done, we're back to action tomorrow. Is that right?
That is correct. There is one game tomorrow. It's in Philadelphia, interestingly enough, and it's the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies. This is a standalone game, and the Major League Baseball folks have gotten together and decided these standalone games are something very special. You might remember, Mike, that they opened the season this year with a standalone game, San Francisco Giants, New York Yankees, by itself out in San Francisco in the latter part of March. Well, that's how they're going to start the traditional second half of the season with the Phillies and the New York Mets all by itself, and then the rest of the teams get underway on Friday with the Cardinals playing out in Arizona and the Royals hosting the San Diego Padres, and the Springfield Cardinals, who have also been off this week, are hosting the Amarillo Sod Poodles. So it all begins for real in the second half. This is the traditional second half, not the literal one. We're way beyond that by now, and it starts on Friday.
You know what that also means? Training camps in 2 weeks, my guy. Yesterday, the World Cup action continues. France and Spain made France look ridiculous.
They did, and it's very interesting because France was the favorite team, but my goodness sake, the high-scoring French team could do nothing with the Spanish defense. Is it a major surprise? No, it is not, because earlier this season they had one of the European Cup games championship. They're always having some kind of a special tournament over in Europe and in South America, for that matter. And in that one, the Spain team also beat France. That was 2-1. But the French team with Mbappe and people of that caliber, high-scoring team, they couldn't even get close. Mike, they had 3 significant shots on goal for the entire game. That's how good the Spain defense was and really kept this game out of reach. 2-0, Spain wins, and Spain is into the championship round on Sunday. So it'll really be interesting to see what the defense wins. Everybody knows that in any sport, you have a defense going for you, and you're going to have a much better chance at winning.
And they proved that yesterday. It's not just in football. Well, I guess it is in football and football. We've got the next semifinal today. Argentina, this is looking like the team that's going to win this whole thing.
We'll see. This is interesting because Argentina is the defending champion. They won at the last World Cup, which was 4 years ago. They did win that one, and Argentina is a traditionally strong power. They have Lionel Messi on the team. He's one of the world's great players. But this Argentine team has been playing on the edge for this entire tournament, had come from 2 goals down to win a game earlier in the tournament. They've had to come from behind. They've been battling back and forth, but they have won, and that is the key. Okay, it's England versus Argentina. England hasn't won the World Cup in, 1960, I think may have been the last year, a long time ago. And this will be a very good match. England's a good team. They're a very good team. So England versus Argentina, that is this afternoon at they're calling it Atlanta Stadium. It's the Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the Atlanta Falcons play, and they'll have a big and loud and noisy crowd, just as they did at AT&T Stadium yesterday in Dallas. Although, interestingly enough, you know who showed up for that game? Mr. Jones. And this is Jerry's World, and he received a chorus of boos.
Oh, well, I'm sure.
All right. It doesn't exist just in Philadelphia, guys. It's it's all over in sports. It's kind of a tradition. But anyway, Jerry Jones was booed down there. Nonetheless, they had a big one there for the France game against Spain, and now they'll have a big game in Atlanta with the Argentines playing the English. It'll be good.
I would love to see England go all the way. That would be great. It's been a great World Cup, though, I got to tell you. I've had a blast watching it, having my vacation over it and being able to watch 3 games a day. It was really, really badass.
You're different because I have difficulties doing that. Not watching the game for any amount of time, maybe for short spurts, yes, that might be okay. But it isn't that type of game. You've got to watch it all the way through. That's the knock against soccer in this country, is that it's so doggone long and complicated and very little offense.
Well, it's interesting because, like we said, and we talked about when this thing started, that to me, I love yes, they have the hydration break, but I love the idea that there's no break in the action. So every half and whatever you're dedicating 45 minutes to watching that. I've been talking to a lot of people that have gone to Arrowhead over the last several games that they've hosted, and said that going into it, the concessions people assumed that they would be selling beer and whatever throughout the game. It's not the case. As soon as that match starts, nobody moves. And so all those concourses and all the midways, all that stuff, empty. Because you have to focus on the action. There's no break in the action, and they stay in there, man.
Would it have been empty if the game was 5 below 0?
Well, see, that's what I want to see. If they were at the Miami game in that situation, how hardcore they'd be in that situation. Have they figured out where they're going to play the All-Star game next year?
It's already been assigned. Excuse me. Already been assigned, and they'll play at the ivy-covered walls at Wrigley Field in Chicago if there is a 2027 season. And while that has kind of been pushed under the carpet, so to speak, hey, folks, the basic contract between the owners and players is dissolving on December the 1st. That's when it runs out. And there is a bitter controversy as to what kind of a new contract. The owners want a salary cap. The players are adamantly opposed to any salary cap. And so it goes. We may not have a 2027 season. We'll see. But if there is, and if there is an All-Star game, it'll be held at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
I really hope they can figure it out, but that's going to be a tough mountain to climb, my man.
Yes.
Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.